With direct talks between the warring parties starting in Saudi Arabia at the weekend, a 7-day ceasefire expected to start last Thursday has not quelled all the fighting, while humanitarian operations continue to be targeted.
The Secretary General strongly condemns the looting of the main compound of the World Food Programme in Khartoum over the weekend. This is the latest violation of humanitarian facilities since the start of the crisis, which is in its 4th week. Most, if not all, United Nations agencies and our humanitarian partners have been impacted by large-scale looting. The Secretary General reiterates the need for parties to protect and respect humanitarian workers and facilities, including hospitals. Civilians and civilian infrastructure must be protected in order to save lives. The needs of the Sudanese people who are caught up in a humanitarian catastrophe must come first.
The situation has seen tens of thousands flee the country into equally fragile neighbouring states amid a shocking array of human rights violations, including indiscriminate attacks causing civilian casualties, in addition to sexual violence, widespread criminality, and the looting of civilian infrastructure, including hospitals. As humanitarians seek assurances of safe passage as they try to scale up efforts given the need that has only been exacerbated by the conflict.
On the 5th of May, 30 tons of medical supplies were delivered to Port Sudan by the World Health Organization, together with the United Arab Emirates. The shipment contained enough trauma, essential medicine, and emergency surgical items to reach 165,000 people via 13 major health facilities. It is WHO's first air delivery to Sudan since the conflict erupted. Meanwhile, customs clearance has been completed for 80 tons of medical supplies that were offloaded in Port Sudan last week. This includes IV fluids and supplies for the treatment of traumatic injuries and severe acute malnutrition. With more humanitarian shipments expected to arrive in Sudan in the coming days and weeks, we call for customs clearance to be expedited to ensure that life-saving assistance can reach people in need as quickly as possible.
And as the US-Saudi facilitated pre-negotiation talks continue in Jeddah, a permanent ceasefire, even for humanitarian purposes, has simply not materialized.
Obviously, there's still signs of fighting, and I began this briefing by condemning the looting of one of our main compounds. So clearly, it is not holding in the way that we would like.
The United States last week threatened sanctions against individuals responsible for threatening the peace, security, and stability of Sudan. Sherman Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.